Hello and welcome to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Janette Murray-Wakelin, who ran around Australia with her husband Alan, 366 days all around Australia, one marathon a day, every day, in her 60s, in her middle 60s, and he was in his late 60s. And also, Janette also conquered cancer. She was given 6 months to live, and in that 6 months, she got rid of the cancer on a low-fat, raw vegan diet. Everything, even the marathons, were done on a low-fat, raw vegan diet. Welcome to the program, Janette.
Thank you, Mirella.
It's great to have you back again.
Yes, good to be back.
Now, you've lived this very admirable life, very good example. I mean, I've come across people who have heard of you who I've never even really talked about raw vegan things to. It's just different people along my path. And you're a great example to other people. Was there someone who was a great example to you on being a low-fat, raw vegan that you could talk to?
Yes, some years ago we met Dr. Douglas Graham from his resident in the UK. He's from the US when we were living in Canada, and we've spent many years with him at different venues to do with raw vegan, and he's a wonderful example, and he started the whole idea of low-fat raw vegan lifestyle with his 80-10-10 diet, which is 80% carbohydrates, 10% protein and 10% fat from fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, he's a great example, isn't he? He's got they have that fruit festival every year in America as well, don't they?
Yes.
The Woodstock Fruit Festival, and you see all the people running and doing all different kind of physical activities, and there's a lot of emphasis on the diet being great for your physical energy, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely, yes, worked for me.
Yeah, sure did. That's amazing. What I thought about with this program, we could perhaps talk to people, like if people actually are watching now and they want to get started, they want to be either a no overt fat fruitarian or a fruitarian or a low fat raw vegan. What are some tips you can give them now to start? What could you say to some viewers now who would be interested in starting this?
I think the most important thing is to eliminate a lot of the foods that are not low-fat raw vegan, and by doing that it leaves room for all the fruits and vegetables that are available. It's really very, very simple and easy to be a low-fat raw vegan. You just stop eating everything else. So, you know, fruits, there's an abundance of fruit and an abundance of varieties of fruit, and seasonally it changes as well, so it's pretty exciting. Same with vegetables. And if you have the ability to grow your own, that's even better. And certainly if you live in an area where there's farmers markets that you can get it direct from the farmer.
They're great. Yeah.
Or you can live in an area where you grow, you know, where the climate is ideal for growing a lot of foods. But it is about eliminating the other foods, because while you're still eating those, you can eat as much fruit and vegetables as you want, but it's not going to give you that 100% result that you get by being 100% raw vegan.
Yeah.
So, you know, start by the obvious of eliminating the animal products, all animal products, and people notice a huge difference very quickly when they do that. All of their allergies, you know, start to dissipate and disappear.
Absolutely.
And then other issues with, you know, it's all mucus forming food, and the body's always trying to get rid of it because it's really not bioavailable to us on a health level. So, you know, even if they just start to eliminate those one at a time, and you only need to not eat a particular item for about a week, and you'll notice a difference. 3 weeks, you won't be looking for it anymore. So, that's, you know, and there are some foods that are more addictive, and that might take a few more weeks and up to about 3 months for some foods. But if you eliminate something, then increase the amount of fruit and vegetables in its place.
Right.
And just keep doing that, so you know, keeping that balance of still having, you know, a high amount of fruit and vegetables, and just increasing it as you decrease the other foods. Myself, I just went 100% overnight, just stopped eating everything other than raw fruit and vegetables. And I have to say that's the quickest and easiest way.
Yeah.
But sometimes our thoughts and you know, get in the way. We tend to, you know, spend a lot of time analysing BS, but I need to eat this or I need to eat that, and things that we've been led to believe for so long. It's hard to remove that from your mind. So if people can transition in that way by just eliminating, even just one at a time or 2 items at a time, pretty soon you're not looking for that food anymore. Because, as I said, the fruit and vegetables that come seasonally, especially as soon as the stone fruit season comes in and everybody's buying peaches and apricots and so on, then it's exciting, and you eat as much of that as you can, and you're not going to be looking for the other food.
And sometimes people might say, well, look, I'm living in a cold climate. You often hear that. I'm living in a cold climate. It's very hard to get beautiful and lovely fresh fruits and vegetables in this climate. How can I do it?
Well, those foods are still available. Obviously, they've been imported, and it is better, to eat what you can that's grown locally as much as possible. So eat more of what is grown locally. Like down here in Victoria, we grow fabulous citrus, and eat as many oranges as you can get. And then when it is the season for tropical fruits and they are coming in from North Queensland, then eat those then. And over the period of a year, you've got a balanced diet of fruits and vegetables. So, or the other option, of course, is to move to far North Queensland, where it all grows.
Absolutely. Live in cans. That's what I've been doing for years. Well, before I was married, I was doing it all the time, going up there to live, and kept coming back. But when you go on a low-fat, raw vegan diet, you still have the challenges and the temptations, and all the people around you are questioning you and almost giving you a hard time, that sometimes you can just say, oh, blow it, I'll just have what everyone else is having, because it gets too much hard work in the end, because you're already hungry and then they're giving you even harder time, and you just sort of think, oh, it's sort of like an addiction, I guess, isn't it?
Yes, I think that it is an issue from a lot of people, where they're getting pressure from other people, perhaps questioning their choices, or even giving them examples as to why they shouldn't eat that way, or saying that, oh, well, we can't go out to dinner with you anymore, those kinds of pressures, social pressures. But I think the key is to believe in yourself. And most people don't place a high enough value on themselves. You are worth it. And if you really believe that you're worth it, you will make that extra effort to do what is going to be, beneficial to yourself and to others. And if people are, really harassing you in that way and you're finding that difficult, then just ask them to support you. It's very hard to actually ask for support. You don't have to say to them, look, I want you to do this too. Just support me in my decision to do it.
Right. We'll have to talk a bit more about the support when we get back from the break.
Absolutely.
You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Janette Murray-Wakelin, who ran around Australia doing 1 marathon a day with her husband for 366 days on a low-fat, raw vegan diet. She was also given 6 months to live with breast cancer many, many years ago, and she conquered breast cancer on a low-fat, raw vegan diet within those 6 months. So she's giving a lot of people hope. Welcome back to the program, Janette.
Thank you.
Now, a while ago I did... quite a few years ago, I used to run raw vegan dinners at my place, and it was I sort of did it with Hippocrates Health Centre in the Gold Coast. They sort of advertised it, and I found people were really wanting to do the raw vegan diet, but they were also struggling a lot. And there were some incidences where one person was saying that their sisters was very competitive with them, and she asked for support from her sisters, but they were more jealous. It was almost like she really needed the help, but they weren't supportive. They were more like questioning her and judgmental on her achieving, sabotaging it in a way. If someone comes across to you as a client that has that kind of problem with the people around them, that they don't actually give them the support they need to succeed on a low-fat, raw vegan diet or fruitarian diet, what would you advise them?
I think I would advise them to perhaps look for groups that are supportive. If your family and your immediate friends are really actively not supportive, then you have to understand for yourself that that's their problem, not yours, and not to wear it, that you really need to take care of yourself and look for, perhaps look for other supportive groups if you're looking for support. And there are plenty. All over the world there are groups coming up now, especially raw vegan groups. Here in Melbourne, I think we've got something like 15 or 1,700 people, members in the group. And it's all, you can find them online easily and just ask around different raw vegan, look in the restaurants or whatever. But I think, everybody needs support in some way.
Yeah.
We're all, we all like to be supported in whatever it is we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's just another way of showing love. And I think that your family and friends will eventually come around when they realise that things are looking better for you and you're looking healthier and you're acting more healthy. And so they'll, they might begrudgingly say, oh, you look so much better now. But that's good, that's good for them to see that, and perhaps then they'll start to ask questions. How can I think by doing things by example really is the only way to help others that are acting non-supportively. But really, if you're in a situation where you're trying to help yourself, then you need to put yourself first and try not to worry too much about whether others are not supportive or not, but look for those that are.
That's good advice, because it's sort of like this other client was saying to me when I was doing this kind of work years ago that they were told, oh, you look really skinny. And so she said to the person that said to her, oh, thank you. It was a sibling. She said, oh, thank you. And she said, oh, I didn't mean it like
it was good.
Like she was a compliment. And then her other sister said she looked better than ever before, but the other one didn't,
Yes.
So it's kind of...
Yes.
You just have to be strong, don't you? You can't give in to those kind of pressures.
Yeah. And that comes back to really, placing that high value on yourself, because you really are worth it, and you're the only person in complete control of your destiny, really, especially with health.
This is something that really should be taught from a very young age, this bit about being, treating yourself well in all areas of life.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
That you are worth it, and so that children grow up confident and strong, to believe in their worth. Rather, it doesn't matter what anyone says or
that's right.
They believe in it. Also, a lot of religions talk about fasting as being something great and strong. And I know I follow often Mary of Medjugorje in Bosnia-Herzegovina, and she is appearing and still is today. And she says, with fasting and prayer, you can reach every goal. You can even stop wars. And another one, she said, with fasting and prayer, you can stop natural disasters. Have you found, because this diet is really like fasting, you're fasting from all the junk food, all the cooked food, all the food we see advertised on TV, you would have to be getting something from that. Can you talk a little bit about that kind of effect?
Definitely. It is a very pure diet, and the lifestyle, it's a conscious lifestyle, so therefore it's very pure as well. So you do tend to go more into onto a spiritual plane with your consciousness and how that leads you. And I do think that it does make a difference to you believing in yourself and believing in something that's pure and good. That definitely takes you in that direction.
And did you find that your life, you had more peace in your life? And how long did it take to get to that stage where you actually felt much more in peace in your life?
Absolutely. Once I went 100% raw vegan, it didn't take very long. And at that time I had a lot of turmoil, a lot of emotional turmoil because of the diagnosis that I had at the time with cancer and so on.
Absolutely.
And still indecisive at times as to whether I was going in the right direction. But I did find that more and more I became at peace with my decisions and with my choices. And eventually it just became, that I'm at peace and in harmony with what I'm doing all the time, and I don't really think about that so much anymore because it's there. It's just, I always feel, to put it simply, you become happy within yourself. And once a person is happy within themselves, then everything comes together.
And what would you say kept you on the straight and narrow without Because when you choose to do something good for yourself, sometimes you get a lot of problems, obstacles along the way, because you're doing something wholesome and good, and that's life, you know. It's good. There's good and bad in life. How did you deal with those kind of things?
I've had a lot of people say that I'm very strong in my beliefs, and I think that that strength does come with eating pure food and making conscious lifestyle choices. It just all comes together. It's all connected. Beautiful. And just staying strong.
Beautiful. Thanks so much. We're going to a break now. You're watching Nat Chat. We'll see you again soon. Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Janette Murray-Wakelin, if you just joined us. And Janette got rid of breast cancer in 6 months, when in fact she was given 6 months to live. And she did it on a low-fat, raw vegan diet. And her and Alan, her husband, ran around Australia doing a marathon a day for 366 days on a low-fat, raw vegan diet. Welcome back to the program, Janette.
Thank you.
I'm sure you live such a simple life and you're humble and everything, but you're making such a powerful statement in what you're doing. Did you to make yourself strong, did you make a promise to God or to a human being that you would stick to this?
Yes, I did. And I made that promise to myself.
Right.
And I think that is the key to everything. Because, yes, you can make a promise to God, or you can make a promise to your mum, or you can, but if you don't promise to yourself, you're never fully engaged in what you're promising to do. When it comes down to something that you are doing for yourself, and we can't go forward and help others if we don't help ourselves first. So I just said, you're worth it.
Did you ever? But you can trick yourself, like our mind can trick ourselves. Did you ever come across that?
Yeah, for a while, especially when I wasn't sure that my decisions could be right or wrong. I just made sure that I looked in the mirror every day and smiled at myself and said, you're worth it. Keep going. And I think, something as simple as that can make a huge difference to a lot of people.
And did you find other people in any time being jealous of you or wanting what you've got, and maybe even being nasty about their way of approaching you in it, when all they really wanted you to do was probably help them do it, but they didn't have the humility to ask, instead they were being nasty or jealous? I
have encountered that, yes. I just know within myself that it's not my issue, it's theirs, and I try to be as kind and compassionate with them as I can at the time, and just continue to live that conscious lifestyle and hope for them that it's inspiring and motivating for them at some time.
That's a very admirable trait, because it's like you've risen above all that, and you can see it really for what it is, rather than get caught up in feeling hurt and angry and upset that someone's doing that to you. Now there's a system you've got with the addictions, getting rid of addictions in the number of threes. You say 3 weeks, 3 months. Can you explain all of that in a bit of detail?
Well, what I've found over the years, and with a lot of people that I've worked with, is that habits take about 3 weeks to dissipate. So if you have the habit of, perhaps it's smoking and you're picking up a cigarette, that's going to take about 3 weeks before you don't have the habit of doing it. You still have the addiction if it's an addictive thing, but the habit itself can be changed by picking up something different. So using the actual habit to change what it is that you're doing, and then that takes you into lowering the addictive level of what you were doing as well. And that usually takes about 3 months before an addiction really starts to dissipate and you're not actually craving something. It can come and go for, another 3 months here and there, but 3 months, the first 3 months is usually hardest to get through for most people.
And then 3 years is the next thing?
Yes, well, it sort of just seems to go in lots of 3. What I found with some people, that they'll go about 3 years on a raw vegan diet, and then they'll break it for whether, usually it's to do with emotional reasons.
Yes. Yeah.
And it can be any set of circumstances, not necessarily related to food at all. And usually it's on an emotional level of needing comfort and support in some way. And, you know, what I say to people is that's okay. You don't beat up on yourself for, you know, for dropping back and having something different, but, you know, just take it easy and go back again. It will come back much quicker. The longer that you've been on that healthy, conscious lifestyle, the quicker it comes back if you do drop off here and there.
Yeah. I had this client was saying to me when I was doing the raw vegan dinners, they said that they were trying to help someone in their family who had cancer to get better, and the person died, and in the end this person was being raw vegan that was helping them. And they said they ended up giving up because they thought nobody else around them cares, so why should I bother? And they'd been so good at it. What would you suggest to that person? Well, there
again, that's not placing the value on themselves again. So it's coming back to that, you know, to say that, well, you know, why should I bother? You should bother because it's you that you're talking about, and you really are worth it. You are the one who can make that difference.
Okay, so then we'll sort of summarise it, I guess. What's the secret to being successful on a low-fat raw vegan diet or a fruitarian diet? What sort of things can you leave our guests with so that they can succeed in it, so we can create this wonderful world where everybody is eating really healthy and naturally?
Yes, well, I think abundance is the key. So if you surround yourself with an abundance of the type of food that you need to eat, which is fruits and vegetables, and that gives you an abundance of colour and nutrient-laden food that is good. It's an abundance of goodness, and it's an abundance of beauty. Surround yourself with beauty. Be in nature as much as possible. Grow your own foods as much as possible. Do everything in a loving and kind and compassionate way. It's all abundance, and when you're surrounded with that abundance, you don't sort of look outside for anything different, because it is the best you can get. So always strive for the best you can get in what you're doing, and so long as it's on a really good and kind and compassionate level, and something that you really think consciously about. So making those choices in life on a conscious level, thinking what is the impact from my choice, that, you know, the impact on my health, on others, on all living beings, and on the planet. And the choices that we make will be different. They'll be higher, and I think that's the key, is to just think more conscious, think, act, and be more conscious about everything we do, including the food we eat, the exercise we do, the love that we give others, and the love that we accept for ourselves.
That's beautiful. I was reading one of Mary's messages in Medjugorje, and that's what she was talking about. People were saying, well, who's going to get to heaven? Is it just Catholics, or is it this? And she talked about people being conscious.
Yes.
And being true to their conscience as well. But we've run out of time now, but we'll have you again next week. Would you like to come back?
Love to.
Good, we'll be talking about so much more next week too. You've been watching Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich, and our guest was Janette Murray-Wakelin. We'll see you again next week with more information on her documentary that's heading for the Cannes Film Festival, and a lot more about her run around Australia with her husband Alan. See you again soon.